Thank you.
Cal, what did you think about the way Devin played in the second half, especially?
Well, he had 7 assists. I mean, a bunch of them were in the zone where we're throwing that lob. He shot the ball pretty well. It's nice to see when he makes shots, we become a little bit different. But we struggle. I mean, you know, again, I thought Boston U came in and played as the aggressor and played exactly how people are going to play us. They're going to try to spread the court, try to beat us on the bounce, make sure their 4-man can spread out on the floor so they don't have 2 guys standing next to the goal. And try to control the pace and try to beat somebody on a dribble or shoot a 3. Hope we foul them. We had guys that didn't move their feet today instead of squaring guys off. And then down on the other end, they're going to sag in a zone or a man-to-man, and they're going to sag. That's how they're going to play us. We did not fight in the first half. There was absolutely no fight. And I was disappointed for Dom and Derek because I really wanted them to get in this rotation and get their opportunity because Alex was out. But at the end of the day, I just tried to finish out. And we played units, but I ended up playing like 9 guys.
John, is this what you were talking about usually when you started out with saying we're not that good?
Well, what we look like today, we only out-rebounded them by 5. But again, here's the good stuff. You shoot 58%, you have 24 assists and 13 turnovers, you win by 24, and we're all upset. So it probably means we're not bad. But you didn't see the energy you saw the last game. You didn't see the fight, the energy. Well, let me just explain to you. These guys are not computers. They're not machines. They're human beings, and I expected a letdown. I was just hoping it wouldn't be too bad. I mean, that was a high-energy game we just came off of. And then you're playing a team that shoots the 3 well, and they did, 37%. Made their free throws, 90%. And got beat by 24.
Cal, what did you see from Dominic? You said you hoped to get some more time there, but Dominic in the first half early was kind of a spark plug for you.
He was okay. We just weren't as dominating. I wanted him to really smother the ball. And again, he hadn't been playing in the games, and I think that affects those guys, he and Derek. It's hard. Derek walked in, and you could tell, looked a little lost, and it's not his fault. And that's why I wanted us to play well, so they get into a flow and they could go show who they are, because they're both very good players.
How do you assess how the offense went against that zone? It seemed early on.
We didn't fight in the first half. We should have been able to throw it and post the ball like we did in the second half. And guys were stepping off the block, wouldn't fight back, would you know, jump in the air and get pushed out, and you know, he's pushing me. What? Push back. And we just did not fight for position. We didn't drive it enough. We didn't get in gaps. But it's hard when they're really backing up like they were. But again, we shoot, you know, 58% and 38 from the 3. I would take that every game. Like I wake up after the game's over.
You said the other night that you wanted Aaron to have more opportunities on the offensive end. He finished with 15 shots tonight. Is this the sort of game where you want
Well, he played 25 minutes, so he played 3 more minutes. So if you look at playing 3 or 4 more minutes, it probably like he took 12 or 13 shots. But the biggest thing is he had 4 assists and no turnovers. I mean, that's huge. Again, you know, I thought Dakari played pretty well, but 3 for 8 from the line is not getting it done. And he is so much better, but you got to make free throws or I can't have you in at the end. Carl struggled, so he's played well 1 game, struggled 1 game, played well 1 game, struggled 1 game. That's about where he's going right now. But I think he'll be fine. And Trey, you know, Trey didn't play. What they did to Trey is they went right at him. But again, you know, 2 assists, and you know, it's what we thought. They're going to put a smaller 3-man against he and Alex and try to beat him on a dribble. It's not brain surgery. That's how they're going to play it. I told those 2 guys, you got to guard. And if they play zone, you got to make sure they're playing you. So.
John, you just mentioned they went at Trey. They were not intimidated, I guess, for lack of a better term. How much does that help your team when the other guys come in and play hard and take it right to you?
Well, every guy that comes in here, we all know that they're excited about playing in this building. They're excited about playing in Kentucky. That team was giddy before the game, and they played that way. They never stopped, they weren't afraid, they battled, they weren't backing down. If we pushed, they pushed back. First half, they pushed and we didn't push back. We just let it like, what are you pushing? Don't you know who I am? I mean, it was almost like that. And we're like, what, guys, every team we play is going to come in and it's going to be a dogfight. You either want to play that way or I'm not playing you. I'll let the other group play. So, but we will see.
Cal, do you feel like you kept?
I did what?
How do you feel like you kept? Oh, here. You feel like you kept the guys off their 2-3 zone backside lob, and
Well, it was something we put in yesterday just to say that they're going to sag. So I want to show you some things we can do, and then we went back and did it like 7-8 times because they struggled with it. I think Joe will go back and look at that and make sure that doesn't hurt them. But there's a couple ways you can hurt them with that cut. You can throw it right to the middle, which we did to Dakari. You don't have to foul. If they fight the screen, you throw it right in the middle of the zone. Right dead middle, which Dakari got it. But like I said, we still had a lot of guys do a lot of good stuff. It's just, we all expect this team to be world beaters every night out. And let me say, folks, they're not going to be. And there are games I'm going to have to drag them across the finish line. They're normal 19, 18, 20-year-old kids. Something happened in class today, I don't know.
Devin had 6 assists tonight.
7 assists.
7 assists, excuse me. I feel like that's something you're trying to do more on offense.
But again, if you look at it, I think 3 or 4 of them were on lobs. So I took him out at one point. I think he had Aaron ahead of him, and he kept dribbling. And I just took him out. We don't make that play. If a guy's ahead of you, you throw it to him. We're still there's things that are unacceptable that these young kids don't know yet. Carl Towns had to take him out. Didn't square off the pick and roll. The guy drove around him. Trey was getting beat on the bounce. And again, there's all kind of things you can do. Don't let the guy catch the ball. He's too good for you to guard off the bounce. Well, then I'm not letting him catch it. That's a pretty simple one. Or you could back up, and then all of a sudden you're going at him. But it's all stuff that he's got to learn, and that's the greatest thing. Trey Lyles is one of our best players. Believe me when I tell you, he is one of our best players. He and Carl are still learning. So is Devin. How about the cross-court zone pass? It was a look away. He looked this way and threw it cross-court. The problem is he threw it to the other team, the red team. The guy breaks out for well, wait a minute. No, that's not. So they're still learning. They're going to do stuff like that.
Cal, Devin made a shot the other night against Kansas, and you kind of caught on camera with this look of relief on your face. How much do you think he needed one? How much more relaxed maybe has he been since he got one to go down?
Well, let's just talk about the stage these guys were on a couple days ago. Pretty big stage. Pretty big stage in a crazy game, in a game that mattered in the 2 top 5 teams, and here they are, freshmen, and you throw them in there and act like you should be fine. We expect these kids to do things beyond the norm, but that's why you come here. You're not afraid of that challenge. You're also not afraid that every team's going to come in like Buffalo did, like Boston did, like these next games. Wait till you see the Providence team. Wait till you see Texas. Those teams, they're coming in this building with one thought: we're winning. And you got to be ready to fight and battle.
John, I wonder if you wouldn't be concerned if there weren't some bumps in a row because you want a November team, not a March team right now?
Right. That's why if you could tell, I'm like, good. We weren't very good today, and what we looked like was a November team. The Kansas game on defense, we looked like a January team. On offense, we looked like a November team. Today, we look like November. And it's what you have. But again, you got to give Boston credit because of how they play. They were the aggressor. They controlled tempo. They played exactly. I told Mike, they called Buffalo. You don't think he called Buffalo? Spread them out, beat them on the bounce, control the tempo, sag back. You got to make threes anyway. If you make them, you may beat them. If you don't make them, it doesn't matter. You weren't winning anyway. That's how people are going to play us. We just got to be prepared for it.
Anything else, guys?
Thanks.